All right, we're going to be watching me doing some sparring rounds against an amateur boxer, and I just very rarely go back and watch sparring. Let's jump right into this. Something that people used to tell me in the past, they'd be like, oh yeah, I always go back and watch my sparring. I record it, I watch it. I've really never done it until I had this YouTube channel. And yeah, you can learn definitely a little bit about improvements you can make, things that you do fantastic job at. It's not a bad idea to record and then go back and see what's happening. So this is one of the first times in a while I've done any sparring. It's been a long time since I've done any strict boxing. I think probably back in December 2024 when I was prepping up for my fight. This guy, he's got some good fast hands. He's about 15 pounds lighter than me, so he should be faster. But when I was in there, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I feel a little bit sluggish. I got to get some speed back. But my priority when I go in and spar is pretty much two things. Give the guy a good round, make sure they're pushed because he's prepping for a fight, and number two, make sure nobody gets hurt, myself included, obviously, in that. When I say hurt, I mean you saw that I landed some mean body shots at the beginning. I mean more so on the head. And in all honesty, it's been a while. A long while since I've sparred with somebody smaller than me. So it was kind of a shock a couple times where I threw across. I'm like, geez, I gotta pull those a lot more than I do when I spar with the normal guys who are kind of my size, if not 10, 15 pounds more. It's also interesting sparring somebody who, even though he's only 15 pounds lighter, who has that massive height difference from me. I'm guessing he's probably like 5'6", 5'7", something like that. And when he does his slipping, especially for the boxing, he gets very low. So I was like, oh man, it's hard to get his body when he does those really low slips. But as you watch my style throughout this sparring, I think you'll see a few times where I break that tight guard, which I usually maintain. I start trying to play around with some slipping, and it's not something that is, a forte of my style, but I think it's important to try to mix things up. Right there, you can see I've switched my guard. A nice little slip. It's, again, not my forte, but I think it's important to play around. I try a couple times where I go a little bit Russian style. But a lot of times when I try things, I try and think about things more. You end up getting tagged for mistakes, but it's fine as long as those mistakes are not leading you to end up with massive headaches. That was a nice little shot there. He closed the distance. I didn't angle off. That was my mistake there, right? I was backing up, my head was moving, and I didn't cut an angle. So he was able to just move straight forward and keep that attack going. We've moved into round number 2 now. Trying to get that body shot going. See, even there on that little snappy jab, I'm just like, okay, I gotta be careful I don't go too hard. And as I was talking about in yesterday's episode, I believe, you'll see me a couple times where this amateur boxer, he lights up like 10, 11 punches in a row, and I just sit there, similar to what Canelo will do, and I'll just sort of shell up. And while it's not something that you want to make a habit of doing, it is okay once in a while. It's okay to go about being like, okay, I'm just going to absorb these shots, let the person wear themselves out. If nothing's landing, you just have to be careful that their volume doesn't surpass you in the round. That inside battle happening. This is where I feel like I need to pick my speed up just a little bit right now. I just felt a little bit sluggish. It's fun playing around with head movement. I do enjoy it. It's just one of those things that the repercussions for making a mistake can be really big, whereas the tight high guard, I don't ever feel like, oh, I'm in real danger. So that's the reason you don't see me slip too much in my fights. But maybe I should start adding it a little bit more, because I haven't trained it, but I can do it okay. Good little of angle off there. I've always found when I spar the boxers that once we end up in tight, with the clench background, I'm really able to control and maneuver them. And it's just something that you want to remember. That's an asset that you have. Yes, you're not supposed to do it, but you really can. You can lock on, spin somebody, and then go on the attack. Ref doesn't really have much they can punish you for. The big thing on slipping is you got to be really on the ball, right? No mistakes. No little points where you phase out. And sometimes I don't know why, but I phase out for a split second, then I get tagged. There, just that little spin there is a good way to keep things in your favor. And now you can tell I'm getting a little bit more into my style of boxing because I'm trying to push him a little bit more, and it's a bit more of a grind for him. Right, when I start putting that pressure, I'm in your face, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, the fight is going to be exhausting. You can tell that we've switched headgear now. He had his headgear on at the beginning. I was like, oh no, I don't need it. And then when he decided to take his off, you just start overheating. It's nice to not have it. And I'm like, okay, I'll put mine on, because as long as one person has it on, the big issue, which for me is head clashing, that's gone. When there's no head clashing concerns, I'm not too worried about anything else in terms of cuts or damage. One of the things that I try to get going, but I don't do it as well as I'd like, is really utilizing that jab to be a shot, which controls and dictates pace. But I seem to have, in all honesty, more success leading with my cross than I do with my jab. Again, something to work on as I watch this. I'm like, why am I not jabbing more? One of the big determining factors for me on how successful a sparring session was is how often am I actually getting hit clean. With all that, to me, I'm just like, okay, good blocking, good blocking, good blocking. Obviously, you got a counter. Hey, man, he's like a little pit bull when he gets going. They're really good. Oh, see there, one little moment where you phase out and bam, you get smacked. That was some better speed for me there. I need to do more of that next time we spar. Ooh, that was a good spring in. You see, once again, I wasn't ready. I should have had my head movement on point. There's a couple fighters right now who are just so tall. Like, I'm looking at the size, the height advantage that I have right now. Like, only that 15-pound difference, but the height advantage. There's a guy named, I think Futura or something like that. I believe he's something like 6'5" at my weight class. 6'4", something like that at my weight class. And he's so long. And then there's Nabil Anan, who again is at my weight class in 1FC, and I think he's something like 6'4" as well. And it's just, can you use that advantage really well? Everybody thinks height is being an advantage, but unless you have the actual weight, it doesn't really help that much. I think this is into the last round now. The one thing I noticed in this, I'm like, oh, my cardio is not great, because you just get that little bit of a sick feeling in your stomach, and it's not even like the pace is ferocious right now, but enough that I haven't been working on my sprints at the field and just going, ugh, it's time to get back into it. And here now I'm working that long jab, using the footwork. Yeah, I have that hand halfway out, just trying to control the range. See, that's better if you're trying to control distance. For me, there's always the recognition that, okay, that overhand can come and my left hand isn't tight to my head. Boom, just like that, see? But I do like playing with the long jab. just like a pole that's in their face. And they always feel like they have to be concerned about it. But I'll usually try something, I'll play around with it for a moment or two, and then I'll go back to where I feel most comfortable. If you guys are wondering what kind of percentage am I putting into this, how hard am I trying? Let's see. I would say in terms of power, doing about 40%. Just touch, not aiming through. A couple times I make mistakes and probably let it go like 60%, but that's definitely something I'm trying to avoid. On the speed, obviously on the single punches, I'm going pretty fast. It's like 90% in terms of like comboing up and being pressure compared to what I would normally do. I would say kind of like at 60-70%. So overall, like how hard am I trying to make this? Well, the pressure and the speed is up there, the power is down. So I'd say this is me at kind of like 60%. It's just that mean zone that you go into. But I'm trying to give him that push, right? He has a fight coming up. He wanted some good rounds. This is the first time we ever sparred. And now you can just see I'm just trying to get in his face, give him this grind now. And when I start going down to the body shot. Yeah, probably like 70% power. You're like, oh, those ones hurt. And then I know the person's hurt. So it's okay to just ease back. I don't need to drop anybody in sparring. I don't understand when people try and drop other guys, especially to the head. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some sparring rounds there. Always fun. I'll get some more footage next week.